We're back right here on the floor of PDAC 2026 in Toronto. Welcome to the Market Front Lines. I'm Lindsay Melchak. Toronto is buzzing with deals, ideas, and energy right here at PDAC. And right here in the middle of it all, I'm talking with someone who is shaping the next wave in energy. Matthieu Bos, CEO of Falcon Energy. Falcon Energy is not about headlines or hype. That's not at all what they're looking for. But what they are about, though, is taking the market seriously and building real value while others are chasing just the story. Matthieu is a strategist, a builder, and someone who investors need to be watching. So thank you so much for being with me here at the show. I know that you have been traveling everywhere, so welcome back.
No, great to see you again.
Absolutely, you as well. So, last we spoke in London. Tell us, what's the update since your last, you did some financing, so let's start there.
Yeah, so we're very pleased. We closed last week of financing, $25 million, heavily oversubscribed. And for us, it's not just about the money, it's about the quality of the investors that have entered the story. And it's a real shift from where we were previously. So we have a lot of large industrial families, smart money out of the Middle East and the US that all of a sudden has paid attention to our stock. So yeah, we're in a good mood today.
Amazing. Congratulations on that. And how are you planning to then allocate that?
So we probably, because we're oversubscribed, we upsized the deal a little bit. So we have a little bit more money in our jeans than we always would have. So primarily, we're going to spend it obviously on the project. So we got a pilot plant going in Morocco, and there is the big plant that needs financing as well. So we can think about some long lead items for that. But secondly, it's not just about the investment in the project. We got to build a much bigger organization. So for all those who are listening, we're hiring, and we're going to expand the team.
Well, then why don't we flip over to the team? Because a lot of that starts from the top, and the loyalty just works its way down because of what they see at the top. So why don't you tell us about the team over there?
No, so we have a really great team in the end. It is about the people for us. So we have a group that has been with me for about 4 years now on this project, and I love the guys. But we can't do it alone. So we got to expand it. Our project is in Morocco, so we're hiring aggressively in Morocco. Our headquarters are in Abu Dhabi, so we'll be expanding there as well. And between those two main sites, I think you'll see a much bigger organization this time next year.
I am going to address the elephant in the room. There is a lot going on over on that side of the world right now. How are you navigating through it these last few days?
Yeah, so it's obviously a big shock for everyone. Nobody would have thought that we would see the UAE in a painful situation like this. I do think eventually there will be a solution. It's a very large financial center. The stakes are enormous. And I'd like to think that there's long-term thinking in the region that is not going to jeopardize all the large investments that they've made domestically, but also overseas. So whilst this is turbulence, I think in the long term, the stakes are too high. I think it'll turn out okay.
That's a great perspective to have. You see that Dubai was this baby little city, and they just expanded so much and done so well. And, all of it is definitely, like you said, it's a big shock. I'm going to flip back over to the management side for one more second here, because investors, they really want to know that management is fully aligned with what the investors are seeing, what they're reading. So what have you personally put on the line to show you are invested in Falcon Energy right to the very end?
So we're aligned. So as management, actually about 2 or 3 years ago, we had some shares in the company, and we flipped all those shares into a stock option plan. So in the end, we're completely aligned. So the stock options are already worth a lot, in which case the investors have made a lot of money, and then we should be happy. And if we don't deliver, we're entering year 4 now of this adventure. I would have made 0. So I'm all in on this one. But I think we're in a good position today. And I think, when investors make money, it's much easier to pay management as well. And so we're completely aligned on this.
What about the communities that you work in? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're deeply involved in Morocco. And we do this within an existing chemical park. So there is not any communities as such around us, but of course, we're a player in this park. So that is our community, so to speak. And we're very happy with the support we've gotten in Morocco thus far. There's still a lot of work ahead of us, but we're an integral part of this OCP complex, and we're taking a waste stream from one of our production facilities and then we're reusing and applying and to our production flow sheet. So yeah, we are connected and an integral part of that community.
That's great. So are the locals very well versed in what you do then?
Yes, 100%. So the largest crown jewel, or the crown jewel in the Moroccan economy, is OCP. It is the largest phosphate producer in the world. Okay. And they're hugely successful. And so we're a small addition to that flow sheet where we help them out with a waste product stream. And so they have all the skills there to run a very large chemical complex, and we're just adding to that. So there's no shortage of knowledge, so to speak, on.
So good to hear. Yeah, absolutely. Who's your target market then?
So interestingly, Morocco's got a free trade agreement with both the United States and Europe, which is very unusual because there's not many countries in the world that have this.
Yeah.
And the US and Europe don't have a free trade agreement. So when you're in Morocco, you can sell into both markets. But importantly, on top of that, there is actually quite a large domestic market for what we're doing in Morocco. There is real cell manufacturers that are going to consume anode material, which is what we produce. And so for us, it's good. Like, we can sell into Europe, we can sell into the US, but actually, ideally, we just sell into Morocco because the demand's right there.
Wow. Now let's flip to the challenging side then. What are some of the biggest challenges that you have been met with, and how did you navigate through that?
It was originally, we wanted to be 100% vertically integrated. It was kind of a buzzword a couple of years ago. You needed to have the underlying resource, and then you could, do the mining and some midstream processing. We would call it midstream or refining. We've abandoned that idea. There is plenty of graphite out there that we can buy. So we're focused exclusively on the midstream part, and that has been the right call. You see a lot of other competitors now coming to the same conclusion, but you got to focus on one side, one piece of the puzzle. A big challenge is, once you've figured out the strategy, is how you implement it. And this is, you need your support from your board, from your shareholders, but also you need to have the people to deliver it. And I touched on it, we're hiring.
Yeah.
And so this is an important challenge today, is that the market's hot, right? Like, there's a lot of
Great market.
exactly, the job market is not particularly easy, and so but we will make sure that we hire the right people, and then we can deliver and be successful.
So Matthieu, what's next then? I mean, you have all these great things happening and you have progress going on. What's next?
Well, we're always buzzing with ideas, and look, it's not in our DNA to be a one-trick pony. So we like critical minerals. We have a unique view of the world, which has been proven correct at this particular point in time. So I think you can count on us expanding into kind of other businesses alongside this. So, we're in the El Monte booth today. Tungsten is a hot commodity. I'm not saying we will go into tungsten, but there's plenty of other commodities that are on our radar that are kind of niche commodities, but critically important. And this is what we do best. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That's the key message. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining us. Definitely come back and give us more updates soon.
Pleasure.
Again, that was Matthieu Bos at Falcon Energy, trading on the venture under FLCN and on the OTCQB under FLCNF. Now you can check them out at falconem.net. Here's the thought we leave you with. In a room full of big promises, the winners are the ones quietly executing while the crowd is talking otherwise. The real question for investors is Falcon Energy one of them? I'd encourage you to go over to their website to check it out, and you'll see for yourself. I'm Lindsay Melchick with Apaton Media. We'll see you next time.